with small children, and by this we're presuming infants and toddlers, have been kept separate from other children and other adults throughout the school. So there appear to be at least 2 and perhaps as many as 3 or 4 clusters of hostages within this building being protected by an unknown number of people armed with what we are uncertain, though there has been this ongoing exchange of rocket grenades and also automatic gunfire between the school and Russian security forces who surround it. As Ryan has mentioned, within the past 25 minutes or so, Ryan Chilcote at the scene, at least 5 people within this crowd of spectators and reporters have been injured, caught in crossfire, pretty close to where he was standing. So some of these bullets coming to at least 200 meters away from the facility itself. And a short time ago, a little more than 5 minutes ago, there was a scramble to get cars in and out.
Now of, well, we were a moment ago, of military officers taking up positions.
Now, some 50 minutes later, gunfire is still going on from the school. It is just maybe now in the last 3 or 4 minutes started to be a little less, but we are still hearing sporadic gunfire around the school. And then the moment I say it lightens up, Donna, it gets heavy again. There's more heavy machine gun fire and some explosions.
We can hear that. The tape that our viewers are watching right now, I'm being told by my producers,
a whole series of them coming after that.
The crash of those 2 jetliners brought down apparently by some terrorist activity last week. But for what we've been paying attention to now is for about 30 minutes we've had a pretty steady barrage of automatic fire and some reports of heavier ordnance coming from the area near this school, where armed captives, or armed militants are holding at least 350 people, and by accounts of some people who were inside that school, as many as 1,500 people could be in a school under what they considered dire and deteriorating circumstances. They also indicated, some of these hostages, to wire reporters that there were bodies inside the school, bodies of hostages who had been killed by the militants. None of this, of course, can be confirmed until security agents, security forces are able to quell this and get inside the building to see what's what. And whether or not we are any closer to that than we were 30, 45 minutes ago remains to be seen. We're going to go back to a point where Ryan was talking to us a short time ago as some of this fire was breaking out, this gunfire was breaking out, and describing the scene for us. I think we have that for you now.
Okay. People being carried
to this whole crisis. That obviously didn't work. This was a hardline group. They were very heavily armed. They were demanding independence for Chechnya. Obviously a very, very tough demand there for the Kremlin. Russia had said it would not storm the building, but then we heard these 2 explosions about
with explosives, hundreds of kids and parents and teachers sitting on the
from inside the school. That's not 100% clear though at the moment, but still the situation is developing very, very fast.
We have Russian attack helicopters above the school.
Have been shot trying to escape. It's impossible to say if there's still a rump of hostages and hostage takers inside the school, isn't it?
It's absolutely impossible to say at the moment. I think it's unlikely. I think as the military moved in, I think that either the most likely scenario would have been that the gunmen did what they promised and blew themselves and some part of the school up. If not, possibly, we're getting reports that possibly some have tried to escape. Obviously, they're very heavily armed. If there are any gunmen running around this area, then that's going to increase. I've heard and seen at least a dozen Russian military helicopters moving in towards the direction of the school. They're not overhead at the moment, which leads me to conclude, I guess, that they're right there by the school. I don't know. They're presumably bringing in more troops, more Russian military to continue this battle.
Sarah, if you can just stay with us, we'll come back to you in a moment.
On the phone now from Moscow is Andrei Kortunov, who's a foreign affairs advisor at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. What's happening? What do you hear?
Well, I think the question which is still open is whether this storming was a planned operation or it was just a chain of accidental events. And it is yet to be seen because right now it seems that it was not a planned operation, but rather something that happened almost instantaneously. Of course, that means that the government will try to impose all the consequences of what is going on the terrorists.
Certainly, from what you say, would seem to be right, because judging by the scenes of chaos and confusion, and also the lack of force by the Russian forces, it would seem that this was not a pre-planned storming of the school.
All right, though, of course, still question remains.
That was outside the building that said some 20 adult men had been taken from the rest of the group as this initial siege happened 3 days ago, and killed as the Chechen rebels didn't want to have any kind of problem with somebody like an adult male. They've kept only the